In the previous video, we went ahead and designed and used Blockli AI to create this featured banner for LearnDash course. Now we're gonna jump to the next section, which is to create this block right here. As you can see, this is what we're going for. This is the entire home screen for the BuddyBoss LearnDash homepage. So right here, we're going to design this. So what we need to do here is, as you can see, in React Native, a component is simply an element or a group of elements that repeat themselves in most cases. So here, even though we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, this is still one component, but then the data that is being consumed by each instance of the component is always going to be dynamic, right? So what we just need is simply to just grab one of these components. So you can see here, and then we're going to look at the properties of this component, and then we're going to use that in the Blockli AI template generation. I have that featured course, so we're going to create a new one. So we're going to create a new template. This one here, this was featured, and then we're going to have a grid of either LearnDash course categories, or we could just use this to showcase topics, lessons, or any other LearnDash custom post. So here, let's just call this topic grid. Actually, we may just use this for categories. I'll call this featured categories, and we're going to be running this for so we can do this for LearnDash topics, LearnDash quizzes, LearnDash lessons. You can even do it for LearnDash courses, certificates, assignments, and that. So, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use Blockli composable card. So Blockli composable card, I'm going to show you what that looks like, because right now the LearnDash categories are, it's not, LearnDash categories is a taxonomy, so we're not fetching it through this custom post block generation engine. So what we can do is that we can manually actually enter those categories and then put the links to those categories. So in this case, I'm going to use Blockli composable card, and then we're going to do AI Copilot. Now we've got AI Copilot. So here I have added 2 elements, just like we did in the previous one that we did. On this design here, we've got this image, and then we've got this art and humanities, and then you have this one here. So I'm just gonna say there are 2 elements. There's the image, and then there is like this this text. So I always group my text together. So if you can see here, I have put the featured image, and I've provided the height and width, and then the URL of that featured image. So if you see here, what I've done is that I went into Figma and I exported this guy out, this image right here, along with this. Now, it's up to you. If you want to code this in such a way that this rectangle that has a rounded border is a shape, and then this shape, this thing here is an image that is inside that shape, then that means that you're actually going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. That means you're going to have 4. And I would say the less number of elements, if you're able to sort of group your design together so that you don't have too many elements to work with. So for me, instead of me having a shape, an image, and then 2 text elements here, I'm just gonna group this shape and this image here as one element called an image. So I would just export this. That means for your case, then you would have to now export this entire thing as the image that you're going to use in your design. You can see that here I have the image and the properties of that image, and then the text. So you can see for me, I have, if we go back to Zeppelin here, and I select this arts and humanities, I'll just copy this right here, and then also this history, I will copy this, and then just come here and paste them here. And once I'm done doing that, I'll just go ahead and upload a screenshot of the entire design. So by the entire design, I mean in Figma, I have gone ahead and exported this whole one, like this guys group together here. So if we go here, you can see them here. And of course, I would also recommend that you export your images with 4x so that the resolution will be high. That way the AI can properly see it. And then you come back here and then you upload that here. So once you're done with that, all you just have to do is just to click convert design to code. So let's do that. So as you can see here, the code is being generated now. And I would even advise you to go ahead and read this comments here, because that will give you an idea what AI is doing, just in case you want to make changes. So we can go ahead and click preview here. And then you can see here, we have that code right here. So since we have the code right here, now we need to make a few changes to it, because we have just this unnecessary space between the arts and humanities and the history, music and arts, right? So what we're just gonna do is we're gonna come here and say reduce the space between the two text elements. It should be closer, just like they provided a screenshot. Both texts should be vertically aligned with the image, right? So we're gonna send that off. Right, so the code is back. You can see here it added justify, center, text, all this blah blah that it's talking about here. You don't need that. So with that, so let's preview that again and see what we have. Perfect, we got it, nailed it. That's what we need right here, and this component is done and ready to go. So we're just gonna go ahead and close this, and of course you go ahead and click save here. So here we are, we're back here on the next screen. And so remember, our design, this is a grid, right? So this is a grid. So let's see what that, let me click to play this. So this is a grid here, and it's, yeah, so this grid is 2 columns, 3 rows, right? 2 columns and 3 rows. So I'll go back here. Now, remember the first one we did a single card, but now we're doing a list of cards displayed, actually multiple cards displayed in a grid format vertically, or multiple cards displayed in a grid format that scroll horizontally within the block. So in our case, this is the option we're looking for, because these cards are arranged in a grid format, but then they scroll horizontally like this. So it's going to ask us how many rows do you want in your grid. So if you see here, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 rows. So we're going to say 1, 2, 3. And then it's asking us how we users tap on these cards. So is there a button on the card, or the whole card is clickable? In our case, this is a single card, like single component. So the whole thing is clickable. But if you just want only maybe the image or the text, the heading text to just be clickable, then you would have to specify and say that there is a button or a link on the card. But in this case, I'm going to make the whole card clickable, and I'll select that here. Now for the mapping, we're going to map the featured image of the whether it's the lesson or topic or category, but in our case, remember, we are using Blockli composable card, which is a custom post type that allows you to create uh, posts which we're going to pull into this card. So we're not using we're not using LearnDash taxonomy or category, because those are not supported in our custom prose blog generation engine, because LearnDash taxonomy and categories is not a post type, so we can't pull that. So we'll manually create that. So here we're going to replace this image with, I'm going to use image field 1. Now we're going to map this eventually when we get to the mapping screen for all of these. So we're going to use image field 1 here. And then for the title, so here, arts and humanities, I'm going to use actually use the title. And then for the history and arts and all that, I'm going to map that to Blockli 1. Now we're done with the mapping for this, and so what we now have to do is to send that off to Blockli AI system. And so we're just going to click refactor here, and then we just give it a few seconds, and then here it goes. All right, so that is done here. Now we're going to deploy that to GitHub. So we're just going to click deploy to GitHub. Now you can see here, this is where we're going to now connect this UI design that we have done now to the custom post type called Blockli cards. Okay, so but before we even do this, all right, let's even go and create a Blockli composable card. So I'm going to add a new composable card here so that I can generate the custom fields that are needed for mapping for that particular design. So if we look at this design here, we have an image, we have a title, and then we have this meta text here, right? So basically what I actually need is, let me just, say arts and humanities. And humanities here. And then I'm going to add, so I need an image field and a text field. So I'm just going to come here and I will call this, let's call this featured image, or you can call this category image. And then this is going to be an image field here. We're going to add that. Then we're going to add another field. This field this time around, we'll call that, this is subjects. So let's say, and this is going to be a text field. So I'm just going to call that there. And then we're just going to add that. So now I can go ahead and say, this image here, I think we have exported it, right? So we can just, yeah, there we go. So I'm creating this post here, right? Or card, and then subjects, we have history, music, math and philosophy, history, music, art, and philosophy. And then of course the deep link, right? Where is this when I click on this card right here? Where is it going to go? Of course, you're going to get the link to these category screen for the BuddyBoss app. And then we're just going to put it here. And I'll show you how to get that. So let's just say example.com here. And by the way, if you go to BuddyBoss Deep Linking, BuddyBoss app, and go to deep linking in the BuddyBoss app, if you come down here, you're going to see how to deep link into some of the core app screens in the BuddyBoss app. So you can see here course categories. You can grab this and then change your domain here, right? Now, for some of you, you may not want to deep link into a specific so for me, whatever is my domain here, right? So in my case, my domain is that. I'm just gonna come here and just take that out right there. Good. Now for you, whatever is the archive screen or the archive page for this category for your LearnDash, then you put it here, and then we're just gonna click publish. So once we publish that, now let's go back to that Blockli AI. So basically, how many custom fields did we use in this design? We only used actually 2 custom fields, because if excuse me, if you look here, we had 1, 2. 1 and 2. So this deep link here, it's always going to be constant. You don't need to mess around with it because that's what it's going to deep link to when that card is clicked on. So we have 2 custom fields here. One is an image, one is a text. The title is not a custom field, it's a default WordPress post field. So if we go back here, so how many custom fields? 2 actually. So one of them was a text and one was an image. So we had 1 text custom field and 1 image custom field. And so this is also where you get to upload the sort of like the design mockup for this, so that you can identify it when you are selecting this particular stuff. So you click here, click save. So once this is saved, now the component has been successfully integrated into this Blockli composable cards. Now let's jump to Blockli custom post block. So if you go to Blockli and then you go to custom post block, now let's refresh. I'm gonna go to that composable card. Now if we go here, you're gonna see that featured categories that we just created, and you can see here those 2 fields, block field 1 and block field 2. So now you can map these guys to wherever they belong. So in my case, the block field 1, which is this history, music, and arts and philosophy, I'm gonna map that to subjects. And then this image, I'm gonna map that to category image. And then I'm just gonna click save. And that's it. Now, once you've done this, the next thing that you just have to now do is, if you go to an app page, so remember originally in the first design, we already had a featured course here. Now we're going to add another one. So let's just duplicate this. And then in this one, we're going to choose featured categories. And then we're going to update this. So I'll actually call this topics here, or you could even say, just say topics here. Let's save that. All right. So we've got 2 of this in. So right now, remember, we're not going to make a build yet. We have 2 more designs to create. So we're going to create this one and create this one. And then once we're done, then we can go ahead and make a build. And then all of this will show up in your BuddyBoss app.